Hello, folks. As mentioned before, the primary autotrophs on this planet are loner plantae, which serve as algae they are fed on by small plankton, in this case macrobacteria, which, new development, are fed on by two different types of organisms. That This is a result of how abundant a food source they are, fed on by both small nectin that actively and directly attack their prey, and pelagic filter feeders which use large sieves to mindlessly filter out plankton indiscriminately. I have more of an idea of what I'll do with the filter feeders, so I'm doing them first. So filter feeders benefit from having a large size, both since they can catch more prey, but square cube law you might say, the ultimate reason they do this is defense. Of course, they don't have active respiration, so their size will be limited to around 15 meters. Passive respiration is much less of a restraint underwater than it is on land. But given this tendency towards large size, Normalis piscis will be the ones to take up the filter feeding niche, due to their air bladder being able to make them lighter. And their teeth will develop into long sticks that carry hundreds of long, thin bristles to filter out plankton, and to better escape predators, they may evolve subcrunch from locomotion, similar to Piscis quoque calvariae. I'll call these forms Gigantes autem superficium, or giants of the surface, as opposed to Pisciculus sylvae, or small fish of the forest. And for small nectin, I'll have Piscis quoque calvariae fill the niche. There's not much to add here. And of course, small nectin and Gigantes autem superficium will need predators to hunt them, so some other Piscis quoque calvariae will evolve to hunt nectin, and since nectin can actively swim away, these predators will need to evolve an even faster way to swim. And, like last part, this will be achieved by concentrating propulsive motions to the back of the animal. This next stage of this ongoing development is called carangiform locomotion. Normally, this is when side fins specialize in advance and dorsal fins evolve in the first place, but these forms already have their front set of fins, and to be more hydrodynamically optimized, their teeth will be pressed together into a solid cone. You may have noticed that all these adaptations to faster swimming they have made over the years have given them an external physiology similar to that of an arrow. That is because they are under similar pressures and both are radial objects. Anyway, in light of this, I'll be calling this clade Sagitta piscis, or arrowfish, as opposed to Vitis piscis, or old fish. That's the best I can come up with, okay? Anyway, this clade feeds on nectin, and some of this nectin is small nectin, and a fact about hunting small nectin is that in the water, even a small predator simply lunging at prey will create enough turbulence to push such small prey out of the predator's reach. And on Earth, you find two solutions to this problem. One solution is to suck prey into the mouth, and the other is to adapt the jaw to lunge forward on its own, creating minimal turbulence while simultaneously capturing the prey. Such methods are probably going to be dominant in clades with mandibles, such as octodentes, since their jaw is already technically a set of limbs, albeit less pronounced in this case, as only their teeth have this condition, and they aren't very flexible, being, well, teeth. A membrane will grow connecting the teeth and they preyed by opening their teeth up to the maximum degree, then letting prey enter range, then snapping shut, catching the food, living very sedentarily, only moving to escape predators. I'll call this clade Dente membrana piscis, or the tooth membrane fish. And a different clade of Sagitta piscis may evolve to feed on both them and Gigantes autem superficium. These forms won't need to be specialized to catch their prey, although swallowing them will require getting bigger, and to propel this massive body and catch their large prey, they may develop yet more advanced swimming. The final form of body-driven swimming is called thanaform locomotion and is seen in large predatory species like sharks or orcas, and it involves swimming using only the tail and propulsion. In these Sagitta piscis, all remaining loose ossicles may fuse into a single superossicle. Segment 6 will fully fuse into one. What the fuck passed me? Okay, so I was saying there's that all the ossicles in segment 6 fuse into one, and then after that they all fuse into one super ossicles that all starting in segment 6, albeit actually, I believe that it actually starts in segment 8, not segment 6. I don't know, that's how I've drawn it. But the way it happens to look in the old. I forgot everything when it comes to how the different segments are labeled in the original script from like 11 months ago, okay? And this back ossicle will extend over the remaining loose ossicles, forming a tail with a small gap of ossicle-like structure connecting the tail to the thorac ossicle. These ossicle-like structures are not true ossicles, but they are made of pure cartilage, and muscle around them will move the tail. I'll call this clade Tres Nevis Calvariae Locus, or the Free Skull Ship, as opposed to, yeah, there's a reason I didn't say as opposed to earlier, as opposed to Dente Membrana Piscis and Tres Nevis Calvariae Locus. It's because I'm giving one name to the basal forms, Basic Piscis, or Basic Fish. Then I put something about how the Tres Nevis Calvariae locus fill a similar niche to placoderms and sharks on Earth, and also noting that the ones that feed on Gigantes autum superficium will grow particularly large to take large bites of their prey, even rivaling them in size. I do want to note that like basic piscis refers to like Sagitta piscis that aren't Dente membrana piscis or Tres Nevis Calvariae locus. I don't think I conveyed that well in the original script, so yeah. Outro time. So last time I said I'd get it out in 2 weeks, and what I was actually thinking was I'd get it out by the next Sunday, which is this is a file beforehand, but I said it'd be in 2 weeks, so it's been over 2 weeks. It's been over 2 weeks, so I technically failed at giving you something that you've done nothing to make me owe you. Well, anyway. So yeah, my overall feelings on this episode. The audio quality was quite good, albeit I honestly it's made me feel a bit depressed about the overall series because a few of the clades have done something interesting, like the Dente Membrana Piscis is the only clade that has done something remotely interesting. Like part 4 in general is a bit of a, and part 5 to a lesser extent, is a pretty big drought in clades doing something interesting, and thus is less quality content in my opinion. I mean, this one's kind of makes up for it because I just find at least personally, because I find the visuals of just like the look of like body driven swimming Octodentes to look pretty good. I think it looks nice, but in terms of actual substance, this episode is very little. Part 3 had tons of clays doing stuff interesting. I was trying to set up all kinds of contingencies there, but here there ain't so much. But we're at the end of part 4 now, and there is more in part 5, and I get better and better at making sure that most clades do something interesting in part 6 and onward. So yeah. But ultimately, this video came out in less than well under a month for the first time in quite a long time, and I think that's the important thing. And I think, in spite of my overall feelings on the video as a video, and those are my overall thoughts on what I've created here. See ya. Bye.